So we're going to be doing the real builds for Crystal Palace. They do a 3-4-3 kind of shape under Oliver Glasner. And the idea, because they're going to be preparing for Europe, they need to have a bigger squad with better players, seasoned players that can be able to perform at the next level. So the game plan is they need two new tens, one number eight, one center back, and one left wing back. Remember, we have 170 million to go, and the idea is that all of us are going to go in a circle. I'll go first, then Guam, then Bari, and then we'll then debate our options. And eventually, at the end of it, we will see what's likely for Crystal Palace. For the two tens, so we're going to start with the 10. So we can both say both of our tens at the same time, and then just discuss it. We might have overlapping players, or we might have six individuals. We'll see how it goes. So for me, looking at it right now, I wanted to. So they're going to lose Iberichi Eze. So, well, not they will definitely, but it's very likely that he will find a new club. And considering that position going out, the only players that would really be able to perform in that like number 10 position that also kind of does shifts on the wing is kind of Sar. That's the only player that's like still a really big part of Crystal Palace that I consider will continue to perform for them in that sort of creative role. So adding two players that are definitely seasoned but willing to be entertaining, give the Crystal Palace fans good football, but as well as challenge and super talented. I went for something a bit unexpected, but knowing the kind of club Crystal Palace has been over the years, the signings of Olise and Eberechi Eze so many years ago from Reading and QPR, I'm thinking of one player would be a Tyler Dibling from Southampton for about 50 million. They try, to make some noise saying, oh, he's only going to go for 100, but you're going to accept this 50 million. And, we're going to start with that. My next player, I'm also going to go alongside Tyler Dibling as well, would be Harvey Elliott for 40M. To be fair, I personally feel like Tyler Dibling for 50M is a lot of money, and I don't think that's the right price, but that's the price I believe Southampton would sell him for, considering his potential and what he could be. You're going to probably brand him as the new Jack Grealish. So if me as the Crystal Palace ownership is considering this move, I will probably go for that 50. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. I was saying 50 before, but I'm going to do 40M plus a sell-on clause for Tyler Dibley. I think Southampton might have to agree with that one. So I'm going to do Tyler Dibling and Harvey Elliott, both 40Ms. So that's so far I've paid 80 million. Our producer, Anu, just gave us his picks. He's going Jack Grealish loan as well as Harvey Elliott for 50M. That's a nice move. I like that. I think similar profiles. I'm just going for the younger Jack Grealish and Tyler Dibling so they can resell him later on, make some profit, and do the Crystal Palace thing that they always do with the rebuilds. Guam, who are your number 10s for Crystal Palace, and how much are you going to spend on them?
All right. So funny thing about this was I was I was definitely coming across from a very small market club perspective. I was trying to be in my Dortmund bag. So bear with me with these names. So
No
I
problem, no
went on
problem.
a bit of a statistical statistical comparison on similar players to Eze that could deliver what they're looking for, such as the progressive passing, the pressing, and also chipping with goals and assists. And my
Mm-hmm.
first choice was Nicolas Paz, who plays for Como, who plays for Fabregas's
Mm.
Como right now. He's a dynamic attacking midfielder. He's a dynamic attacking midfielder who contributed greatly to the beautiful football that was shown by Como last season. And he has
Mm-hmm.
shown so much growth playing under a legend himself, Fabregas. And he has pretty great stats from his first season for a 20-year-old. He had 6 goals and 8 assists in 35 Serie A games. You can't really ask for more. With an Eze, we're getting 8 goals, 8 goals, 8 assists.
Yep.
There are obviously some questions about how how transferable those stats are from Serie A to Prem, but I think he is an interesting player to take a punt on. And his estimated transfer fee on transfer market was 9 million euros. But of course, there's no way Como is letting their star 10 go for 9 million. So
Yep.
let's say we get into a long drawn out transfer transfer battle. I end up paying 40 million for Nico Paz, and I'm very happy with that. That's my first choice.
Great choice.
My second choice was based on, again, comparison to Eze, comparison to Ismail Assar, and another young profile who played for VfB Stuttgart this season, Enzo Milo. So Enzo Milo is an interesting choice because he's 21 years old, turning 22, left-footed. So you'd be able to move Ismail Assar to the left wing side of the 210s, to the left of two, allow him to come in on his preferred right foot. And you'd have Enzo Milo, who is left-footed, and in 29 Bundesliga appearances, contributed to 6 goals and 5 assists. And he excels at the progressive passing. He created 66 shot-creating actions. And that would be a very interesting mirror to Eze's creative profile. And he's only 21, so we are betting on an upward trajectory and betting on the adaptability of French players to the Premier League style. His estimated transfer fee is 35 million euros, and I believe the Germans are a bit fairer with their transfers. So I believe he goes for the 35 million euro fee and would have spent 75 million on the 210s.
Lovely. Astute business. I like what I'm hearing. Bari, who are your picks for 10?
All right. So for me, I was also thinking like the way Crystal Palace would think. When you think about some of the stars that they've signed from the Championship, Eze and Olise, small fees. They sign really talented players for a small fee, and they give them the room to shine and develop, and end up selling them for good money. So in that regard, I think for me, I see these options as the most realistic options for them. Not that Crystal Palace cannot flex and say they want to get certain players. I just think, they've got a certain philosophy which has been working for them over the years. And I think that's a major reason why, they've been in the Premier League for a long time. So with that regard, I think for me, number one, the first option is actually Fabio Vieira. Considering the fact that, strong rumors have it that, Eberechi Eze might be on his way to Arsenal sooner than later. In negotiations with Arsenal, I think they can get a good deal for Fabio Vieira. He's someone who can tuck in on, the right-hand side as one of the double tens. And then for me, on the left-hand side, someone who at the moment might not necessarily displace Ismail Assar. I think James McAtee from Manchester City. James McAtee, with the few games that he had last season, I was honestly impressed with him. And considering his age, he does need game time, which we know, it's not going to increase next season due to the new signings that Manchester City have made. I mean, the signings of Tijjani Ryan